Garth, welcome back to another episode of Unmotivated. I'm sitting down here again with my guy Jack, who's been visiting for 1 week. Now, well, a little bit less, but it's actually a week, right?
Yeah, it'll be a week.
Okay, Jack, look, man, we got to get to this one real quick because I don't know how long this dang camera's going to work on 4C, man. There's not a lot of people who know me, man. So if you had to describe me, walk people through how to deal with me, what would be your best advice, man?
Describe you. Tough to describe, I guess. The way I see you tended to differ from most other people.
Yeah.
But you're honest and to the point and deliberate.
But why do you think people didn't like me back in the day, man?
Yeah, well, I know why they didn't at my high school for sure. Because I had one friend who was pretty good at high jump, and you came in to work out the weights program, and you were just being you, but you were like, this is the warm up. This isn't even hard. And all the guys were like, this is so hard. This is the toughest thing of all time. And then he said it was just a warm up. That's disrespectful.
Oh, that's a...
They were like, we work out hard. They all thought that they were like better than they were. So it was like a big shot to them. But then even my buddy was like, I had a track meet 2 days later and I couldn't jump at all because I was so sore. So like, fuck him. And I'm like, what does this have to do with him? Maybe you're not as strong as you thought you were. That was my first thought. So, but that's what originally intrigued me about you. I didn't know who you were. I was like, oh, just some random dude. But then you came to work out our team and I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to this because everybody who I think is kind of a bitch was bitching.
Jack's like, these are all bitches. They're all complaining about the same thing. This must be great.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought. So, yeah, that's why a lot of people early on didn't like you. But, yeah, I think you're honest. And if you'll get along with you if you're honest and upfront and manage your own expectations.
Now, what I love is, I don't know if you actually have this thing that I do, but I basically categorize people based on, kind of like identity. So someone said, Trev, how do you stay calm? I said, once I realize somebody's a stupid person, I just kind of smile and talk to him. He's like, oh, that person's an idiot. That ain't gonna stress me out, buddy. So like, you identify some of these people as bitches. He's like, oh, this is a bitch ass motherfucker right here. So we're good. There's nothing that we can like, oh, he's just gonna complain because that's what he does.
Exactly.
There's no way to work around it. But once you can like, oh, that's what it is. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Good. Oh, still bitching? Perfect. just check it in, man. Now, what makes someone likable or dislikable? What about you? Do you think people have a distaste for? Or what do you think most people appreciate most?
About me, I don't know if people are super distasteful. I get some people who like resent me off the bat. And,
why though?
I'm not sure. I had a couple friends who resented me, but
really? They're your friends? You call them friends?
Now we're friends now.
Oh,
one
wow.
of my friends was like, he's like, I just heard a lot of good things about you, and I didn't think it could be true. So he was like, I wasn't gonna dick ride.
Oh, that's what it calls.
So yeah, and
But you got something else though too. If you do have people that you admire or you hear, like just go and see for yourself. I think a lot of times where I come from, people don't do enough of, man, that's a good person, man. You might want to get to know him and bridge that, like just build that bridge, right? Versus like, oh, he does all that, man. Something must be wrong with this motherfucker. No, nothing's wrong. It's so funny because I don't know if it was you or someone else. There was another kid who was like, somebody had warned them like, oh, dude, you can't be around that dude. Nobody's that good. And they were like, what do you mean? So you mean to tell me this dude cooks for you guys, you work out for free, he drives you everywhere, and he doesn't want anything? They're like, yeah. No, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I've had people say that.
They're
Like,
like-
this is ridiculous. People who like other guys who train people for their business would be like, hey, would you consider? And I'm like, all right, bro. So you can do all these things and then top the fact that I've known you for 10 plus years. Like, are you even willing to? Because I'm not going to pay you anything. It's just going to be a waste of your time.
But keep in mind, the value add is OD. And that's the other thing that throws them off guard. They're like, so what does he get out of this? I don't fucking know, but we get a lot. Fucking the shit works, goddammit. We're on teams that fucking kick ass, literally. And I was blessed, to say the least, to be a part of some great success stories, especially during that high school run when we was like rocking and doing a bunch of stuff, man. Well, guys, again, I'm sitting down with Jack because there's very few people who know who I am and very few people who spent the amount of time he spent just being a part of my life, man. What's been one of the things that you've enjoyed seeing over the years as I've progressed, and fucking clearly you've progressed?
Yeah, I guess to see how your life has changed. Early on, I mean, I've always thought you've been the same person. Like your core values have never changed.
Yeah.
But I guess the people you've met and are around now, the expression's a little different. But yeah, originally, did you have any friends? You didn't have any friends. You definitely didn't have any friends. You were hanging out with us all fucking day.
I'm like, they're like, what are you doing? Oh man, a bunch of this is kind of weird. This dude's hanging out with these kids for like 12 hours a day. I was like more like 16, 18,
Yeah.
but who's counting? and what do you guys do? Oh, they work out all day, like all day. I'm like, yeah.
all day.
Remember that time you guys ran like 12 miles in the snow?
Yeah, that was around Christmas time. Yeah.
These kids, look, I kid you not. Look, mind you guys, let's make sure we put this in perspective. The kids don't pay to work out. I'm probably the devil, not in disguise, to be clear, because everybody's afraid of me. And they're like, hey, can we get a workout in? And I was like, dude, it's fucking Christmas Eve or day or some shit. They're like, yeah, but we're not doing anything till later. And I was like, seriously? And they were like, yeah, because sometimes on the holidays, I'm like, fuck, I get a little break.
Yeah.
And them fuckers showed up, and it was like probably 3 or 4 feet of snow in Kansas City, at least a foot.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. So I remember cranking the little radiator thing up, and then people showed up. Rashawn was even there. I was like, this is odd. Like these,
There were a lot of people there. Yeah.
there was, and I was at home. Like but again, it just goes back to being a place. I've said this, and I'm not a Bible thumper, but the Bible says, "Clean it up, which is good." Not everyone, if any of the kids were like Bible thumping children, but there's something in a child's heart that keeps them honest. And some of them needed more structure or just discipline or even just like a place to go and be great. And I didn't have to make phone calls. Was no group chat, was no group threads, wasn't nothing. It was like, yo, where you at today? Can we come work out? And they, for like 5-6 years straight, I can honestly say some of the best athletes and young men I've ever met in my life showed up and they kicked ass, literally, while getting their ass kicked.
Yeah. But that was what I thought of you originally. But I didn't think that you never said, hey, I'm a trainer. You never once said that. You never led with that. But everybody assumed that because that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
So it didn't surprise me when you like pivoted and you're like, I want to do dog stuff. Because you would always even mention, you're like, I don't even like working out. I'm like, okay, well, you said it, so I believe it. But I don't think anybody else like took that into consideration.
Yeah.
I think they just looked at you like, oh, this is our trainer. So
Look, but even still, someone says, well, what was your focus with those young men? I said, I've been in their shoes, not knowing what to do and not having support and just, a place to go construction-wise and just build. And I was able to provide that through my curiosity of how the body moved and worked. And for the most part, I could say nobody got hurt, and everybody was stronger. Everybody had more confidence, definitely tons of more faith. And because I brought an eclectic group of young men together that played literally all sports. A lot of great things took place competitively inside of the gym, and then that transferred directly over to whatever sport they were playing, and now even life, right?
yeah. Well, you also remember when you made decisions for yourself.
Oh.
Like completely, and you were pretty young. So I think I wouldn't say I got along with you well because of that, but I gravitated towards somebody who operated like that because that's kind of how people in my family operate. But even when you put me at the front of the line, like pretty early on, we didn't really know each other at my high school.
Southwest.
Yeah, and then my coach was like, hey, "Why is he up there?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
remember that?
now mind
you remember it better than me because I wasn't there. I just
Well,
remember what you told me.
so put it like this, people. I walk in with an honest eye, and honesty for me is always rooted in the facts. Facts are this: I gave instructions, and I've done this in many schools by this time, and I tell the kids exactly what to do. The coaches have a perspective on who should be leading. I'm like, he fucking sucks. And they have to now deal with me. Because now I thought this was my hour. One time Callahan says, hey, the kids ain't deadlifting in a while. I said, why don't they do it on your time? He's like, hey, I was just asking. I said, all right then. Everybody grab a fucking plate. Let's go outside. Because I'm like, yo, I'm only here on Wednesdays, buddy. Fuck, you need me to show him how to deadlift? I'll do that. But like, I got a different idea. That motherfucker said this last week. I've been waiting to see his ass for 7 days. But to Jack's point, the coach just articulated to me that he thought Jack was a pussy, if I'm being honest. He was just like, yo, he's kind of whiny. I was like, what? He was like this. I was like, what? And I literally was like, no, that's just not true.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that from because I never once complained to him.
Dude, you didn't complain at all.
Yeah.
And then when I looked up, you were in the middle of every fucking drill teaching all the kids how to do basketball shit. So I'm like,
he asked me to teach them how to do stuff. He even asked me to bring a guy to work out with you because he was like, I want him to have similar work ethic. And I'm like, bro.
he don't got it.
Yeah.
He don't got it, bro. But that's what, so to Jack's point, I would go in, believe it or not, and I won't say argue with the coaches, but give them a different set of eyes. Cause like for instance, first time, shout out to my guy Gabe and Rock. Rock got on the line and I said, ooh, coach, you might be focused on the wrong one, buddy. I think you need to focus here too. And it's in those moments of growth and through work that you see value. But let me be very clear. Jack can follow instructions. I give very clear instructions. Guys, elbow to rib, hand facing forward, drop down, count, look up, hold people accountable. Jack was at the time not as communicative, but he could execute. And execution for me means he was really focused on the method that I had articulated, and he did that in everything, be it right leg for height, high knees, squat jump. The kid kept focusing on the details. And I said, there's your leader, the one who wants to get it right. You know what you can do with that? But he was caught up on, there's a team, an organization back home called MoCan. So you play for them, you're supposedly elite. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about them Negroes. I need the Negro who's showing up and gonna follow the instructions. That person has a longer journey. And for the most part, I think your basketball career has outlived all of those guys, right?
Yeah, it has. But I mean, I think we saw eye to eye on, well, you always look for the truth in situations and regardless of what other people tell you. And so
I tell people, look for the truth, not the good. Fuck the good. The good is where, like Jimmy said today, don't follow your heart to get bad. So the truth, like, imagine me even falling victim to the coach. He's like, yeah, I don't like that. I like him. I'm like, he sucks. And that'd be it. Like, I said, he's fucking worthless. He won't speak up. He's half-assing. You want me to deal with him? I'm going to make everybody sit down and terrorize him for the next 45 minutes. He'll never come back. And what you don't know is he actually didn't have me come the first year because he had heard what happens when T-Fit shows up.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Colton, remember Colton?
Yeah.
He said, T-Fit, I ain't gonna lie to you. He said, I got wind of what happens to programs when you show up. I said, yeah, they get better. He said, yeah, but they also quit. I said, so now you know who can move this ball around and who your muscle is.
Yeah,
so the first year.
That doesn't make any sense if you want to be good.
No, great, fuck that. But point is, he didn't bring me in the first year when Colton was there because you weren't there when Colton was there.
No,
you,
I was, but
you
I was a
but
freshman.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So Colton came to work out with me. His dad, Dave Miller, goes, hey, I'm going to get you in with Rabbit. Well, Rabbit already worked at fucking Shawnee Mission West, so if I needed to get there, I could because everybody knew him already.
Yeah.
But we had talked, but he's like, man, I was scared of what would happen to some of the kids. I'm never going to be scared of shit when it comes to bettering someone's quality of life, right? So if you're scared that these kids are going to pussy out, you got a pussy-ass program, in my opinion. And this ain't no dig to the coach because, mind you, a lot of coaches were concerned. I mean, there were coaches like, hey, T-Fit, listen, you got 15 minutes, man. You're going to scare these fucking kids off. I'm like, okay, coach. Now, you sure about that? He was like, yeah. I was like, all right, everybody, take one deep breath because this is the last time you're going to be able to do so. I got 15 minutes. I'm going to use every last second. And it was a blast. But point is, as Jack said, just even in being decisive and making decisions, I had a clear perspective at 22, 23, 24 when I was dealing with these young men. And mind you, I'm walking into programs where coaches have been there 10, 15 years, 4 years, 5 years. It's their job to be there, you know? Mm-hmm. And they're allowing some black dude to come off the street that they do not know and say, look, I'm going to help your program improve. And I won't say we're arguing, but they're like, well, what about this kid? I'm like, he's useless. What about this? No, he's a waste of time. I'm like, you sure you want me to do that? Like, all right, I'll do it, but he ain't gonna like it.
Yeah, I always got the impression that you were being good to people by being honest, and they all got rubbed the wrong way because you were telling them things they didn't want to hear.
I'm not their parent. I'm not here to tell you, oh, you're so great and you're so good and you're gonna make it. You're not gonna fucking make it, bro. If you can't get through this fucking line and then some, this doesn't work out. Not even in real life, buddy. Yeah. But the people who can finish through my line and almost through the end zone or through anything that we do, those are the people that I'm going to bet on, and we're going to put some in the bank. So when it's time to dig deep or dig in a little bit more, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to find it because you put it in. I mean, it's just there.
Yeah.
You can reach back and get it, and that hence, the 1,000 reps. And if you do 1,000 reps, cool. If you do 1,000 reps correctly, now you put quality. Now you become excellent at those 1,000 reps. You become unstoppable, man.
Yeah.
And mentally, physically, hell, even emotionally, when you get out your own fucking way. But what Jack's now probably seen as he's gotten into his adult phase, how many people, Jack, get in their own way because they think more of themselves than they not?
Yeah, the majority of people. Pretty much almost everybody has gotten in their own way at some point, but a lot of people continue to get in their own way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't realize it's them.
And you know what, people? I'm one of the people as I could say this. I've bet on more people than I ever bet on myself. So I got in my own way by giving people more than they deserve. The minute that I just said fuck everybody, literally, and jumped in and did the dog thing in totality, wholly, collectively, point blank, it all worked because I'm like, now there's nobody to stop me. I don't even give a shit what nobody else doing. This is going to work, and I'm not helping nobody else. I'm gonna help my fucking self. Now I'm one of the most leverageable assets, kind of in the pet space in the world that I live in, at least. Where we were just walking out the store a second ago.
Yeah, and that security guard was like, somewhere, and you're like the dog, and yep, YouTube, right?
Yeah, see, and that for Jack is different because again, he was around when I had no friends, nobody like me. Definitely was not recognizable outside of being in the schools and the kids being scared to death. But to be in random places and to be smiled at or respected or like, man, keep killing, whatever the case may be, you go, wow, this is a different state of being to see this guy in.
Well, the high school kids were definitely scared of you, but you were also just a big dude. You still are, but like you were cut up back then. So you looked like a bodyguard. So if people didn't recognize you for something, their first thought would be like, I might fuck me up. So
and what's funny, Jack, is my dad, he told me everyone's always gonna be afraid of you. So as I got bigger and bigger, he said, here's the thing, Trev. That's what I'm telling people. He said, being black's a superpower. And as long as you look like you do, they're going to be afraid. He said, now, imagine being able to talk, speak, and articulate yourself. Not only is there no such thing as a stranger, but you'll be able to get in every room. Because the minute you open your mouth, they're going to be, oh, wow, this guy can make sense of things.
Yeah.
But I use, I guess, how I'm designed by way of God that's like, well, I got your attention at least. Yeah. and then, the white guys, white folks, they're like, oh, man, what team do you play for? I said, I don't watch sports. They're like, Saquon, shouldn't you be at training camp? I said, who is Saquon? Who? So I just this year is the first time I realized who this Saquon guy is because he did the backwards jump.
Yeah.
That was all over the internet. But I kid you not, I was at Shawnee Mission, 24-hour fitness, the one off Shawnee Mission Park years ago, and a white dude was like, Saquon. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Who the fuck is that? Oh, I said, dude, I'm just a regular dude, man. I just work out. I'm big for no reason. Yeah. There's no good reason for me to be as big as I am. I just have to work out and not kill anybody. keeps murder off my mind.
Yeah.
But Jack, one of the other things I wanted to make sure why I've got you here, because again, you know me, man. What's one of the things that you've taken with you, you've learned over the years, just from either my choices or even conversation you had, because you did a good job in a couple of the podcasts telling me shit that I told you. I was like, damn, I said that? Damn, one time watching an interview that I did with him, he said, Trevor, I said all that? I said, yeah, motherfucker, we were sitting right on your couch. But he said, damn, I said a lot of good things. And I said, dude, you killed it, man. And 9 out of 10 people can't get Dan to sit down and do an interview, let alone talk about anything. And he's like, all right, Trevor, I'll do it.
I don't know what the one thing I took away is, because there's a lot of things. But, I guess the baseline thing that I always knew I would get was, all right, I'm going to come and work my absolute hardest, and I'm going to find my limit. Or I'm going to find where I thought my limit might have been and go past it. But I'm at least going to push myself to an unknown area. But I know it's going to work out.
Yeah.
So if I can just stay persistent and be consistent while I'm here, like, hey, once I'm here all day until it's finished.
Literally.
You told me not the first time, it was the second time I came to work out with you, just you after the team stuff had finished at Shawnee Mission South. Well, no, that was the first individual one was at Dan's house, where I ran on the treadmill and worked out in the basement. But no, once school had started, and I was like, hey, how does it work now that
school's in?
Yeah, and the first day you had me one leg hopping up the bleachers with dumbbells, and I got nauseous because I was like, man, maybe I should eat a good lunch and not eat school lunch. So I brought salmon. But, I didn't refrigerate it, so I was like, this shit was kind of nasty by the time I ate it. And then I kind of had a stomachache, and I was like, this went all bad. But I made it through. But the next time, I had never done box jumps before. And the box jumps that we were doing over there were the old boxes that looked horrible. Like, you'd scrape your knee up.
You would lose all your skin if you missed.
Yeah, and I couldn't jump either that well back then, because I was a lot smaller. I was like 5'7".
Dude, that's fucking funny. You couldn't jump.
I couldn't jump at all. I was a 1-foot jumper, and I could touch the backboard maybe.
Oh shit, Jack! Oh man, you taking me back. I'm going back to to Jack being a regular human being. I don't know you as a regular human.
Yeah, but so I couldn't jump, and I was like, I can't jump on the box off one. I would have toppled it because we stacked the boxes on top of each other.
And you had to land on those fucking things perfect, or
Yeah,
not
but-
only would they fall, but they wiggle, they wobble, they were just unstable.
Yeah.
The fucking sides were coming up on the rubber. It was like
You had to get over it and land on top of it.
literally knees up.
So, yeah. But you had stacked up a bunch of them, and I was like, I had already decided. I was like, I can't do that. I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, shit.
He's about to fucking cook me if I can't get it.
But I was like, this is the end of the workout. So I like kept trying, but I like low key didn't believe I could do it. I was like, I've never done these shits before, and you were like in and out of the weight room, and you were like, oh, you're getting pretty close. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. I was like, if I get even closer, I'm gonna like everything's gonna collapse. But then you were like, you got to get 3 before you can leave, and then you just dipped out. And I was like, fuck, I really got to get 3 before I can leave. I got to figure it out. So then I ended up getting 3, and I was like, okay, the box jumps aren't that bad. And then I mean, once I learned how to jump, it became easier.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, people. There's a method to it, to the madness, and you say, dude, why wouldn't he have me jump at the beginning of the workout? You go, that's too easy.
Yeah.
I need you to be able to jump in the fourth quarter. So let's squat 405. Let's do 2,000 reps. Oh, guys, then we got to jump 43, 50 plus inches. Jack can do that now without a question in mind, right?
Yeah, I can easily dunk and do all that stuff. But like, I mean, my vertical is very good. People are impressed by it now, I think, because I'm white as well. But yeah, back then I couldn't jump at all, and I couldn't jump off of 2. Like I had never even attempted because there was no need to.
Yeah, he's a hooper, man. But that goes back to people. Every individual that came into the workouts, and even to this day, people that come into my life require a different level of energy, focus, determination, clarity, work, to say the least. And I can physically say that, when I'm saying physically, meaning I've had conversations with each individual as they've gotten into adulthood, and they taken me back to moments that I forgot because at the time life was moving so fucking fast, and I was just like, no, I gotta just figure this out. Like everybody gotta get better regardless. But all right, what do you complain about? Up, do 2,000 this. Let's do it. Up, you got this, that.
Yeah, it was pretty cut and dry.
It still is to a degree, but I've gotten seems softer. I've gotten nicer, Jack.
Yeah, you have gotten nicer, which is crazy because everybody thought you were an asshole, and even one of my friends was like, yeah, you've become more cocky now that you like work out all the time. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I was like, I didn't think it was true, but regardless, everybody thought you were an asshole. So I didn't think so. I thought you were good to people, but they just didn't like the production or like the presentation of what you said.
They wanted some coach kissing their ass and somebody telling them that they're good people. And I'm like, you fucking suck, dude. Like, but I'm going to give you the tools to be a better fucking human being. The best moment I've never recorded, people, is Rock and Juwan were at my uncle's house. They had been with me literally since like 8 or 9 that morning, and it was nighttime. And I was like, hey, we're going to use the curb. And you go work out on this curb. And so some couple was walking their dog. They go, what are you guys training for? And at the same time, they go, life. The funniest shit that I've probably ever heard, because it's what it was for, in my opinion at least. It's like, guys, I got to prep you guys to walk out in this world and be okay. And I think even when Andre died, which you didn't meet Maloney, that was I thought I was okay, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm watching these interviews, right, of Andre after he dies, and I'm remembering how much love this kid had for the work, right?
Uh-huh.
And I go, fuck, dude, I'm like falling apart watching these things. And part of it was because, for one, he believed in T-Fit. 2, his mom, I went and seen her a couple months afterwards because I never really met her. And she was like, he loved you so much and everything that you did for him. She said, I remember taking him over there and it'd be snowing. I was like, you sure? He's like, Mom, he's here. He's here. He's like, where? But in the interview, it was like, Dre knows we will work out in any condition. So this is before you even came. And even more importantly, I told them, being black, you'll never be allowed to get on camera and sound stupid. So I said, we're going to practice interviewing. We're going to practice this. We're going to practice it. And I have all the authentic files on just making sure that they communicate even. And I don't think, like, to your point, who else is teaching them that?
Yeah, no, you gave everybody a lot of good value. I don't know if, I think I retained more than most people.
Oh, yeah.
But I also was there for a different reason. Like I was literally just showed up because I was like, oh, this is the honest truth about working out. And that's what I needed. But yeah, I wouldn't say you've gone soft. You still have it in you, but you definitely were consumed by that space back then of like, hey, we're gonna make this as hard as humanly possible because you're gonna need to have this ability at some point in your life.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, people, I would say, you know, one thing about I've always loved a good villain, and it's reminded like I've been around people, Reese like Gooch and Rich and others. They're like, Trevor, you kind of being nice, huh? I can't even believe this is going on. I'm like, damn, what happened? I had to revisit that other nigga I was. I've sought more peace, and at the time, I truly have always been intrigued or interested in you guys' overall well-being. But you go, maybe the other me is the better me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the better one, but I still think of you as that person. It's hard for me to be like when people are like, "You're kind of cute and cuddly now." I'm like, what? I never thought that. But well, when I first really was consistently coming to work out, and I wouldn't even say much. I would just kind of you would give direction, and I would do it, and then I would leave because that's what I assumed it was. And then you had to ask Rock, like, "Hey, is this guy good to be around?" Yeah.
Well, I knew Rock and them, they required a different level of attention to detail, and you know, it required me to become something I never seen. You know, and that's a foundationally a caring person. Now, still in my own unique way, but it was like, yo, these kids need to know that everything's gonna be okay. You know, that I care, that I'm always gonna be there if they ever need anything, right? And that was a part of it. So part of even the transition to a different state of peace is dogs will teach you patience. People will fucking teach you patience. And over the years, you kind of get rid of some of the anxious chaos and crazy, and some of it just dissipates, right? But then you go back, for me, and watching Jobs and the others, and you go, they always had a dog. Like Tom Brady, there's a chip there, you know?
Yeah.
There's like, he's a little angry about something, you know? And I'm like, part of me thinks I lost a little bit of that anger, which I don't know if it's a good thing now.
Yeah, but you haven't lost any drive.
That's for damn sure. The drive part is like, everyone was, I mean, I ain't got to speak for everyone. You guys have heard the podcast. We're just like, yo, I thought I was doing a lot. This nigga's crazy.
Yeah, I think you could always tap into it if you needed to, but I think you've substituted it for something much better. Like you have a wealth of friends now that care about you.
Yeah.
And including me. I mean, I'm
yeah,
older now, so like,
yeah, no, for sure.
you know, like,
I didn't know who was going to be like, put it like this. Jack would be considered the black horse. And not because he wasn't there. It's like everybody, I expect everybody to make it. You're the person who, again, showed up with the right intent. I had to teach them the intent. I had to teach them to be intentional, to be impactful, to make good choices, to think about their futures in a very different way, right?
yeah, but they saw you differently than I saw you. I originally just saw, hey, this guy knows what he's doing, and I had wanted to know more about working out and how to be stronger, but also not injure myself in the process because I didn't know anything about it. And the people I was around, my high school definitely didn't either, even though they said they did.
They're all lying.
I was very cautious. But my whole intent was like, I don't really care. Like, as a person who you are, you have good information. I'm going to show up. But the more we hung out with each other, it was like the next thing, like, you know, you're just in the same area. You start talking about it a little more. And they're like, oh, we shared the same opinion on this and that. And it's continued. So I don't know if it's the same with other guys. I think they liked hanging out a little more than I did at the beginning.
Yeah. And mind you, that's the part that I was like, you know, Jack is very, very similar to myself. He can see this future in terms of where opportunity is probably going to go. He bets on people, and definitely consider Jack a friend for sure, because he's one of those people that you look forward to seeing consistently, because I know he's on a mission. He knows I'm on a mission. And realistically, as he said, technically nothing's changed, especially from a drive and clarity standpoint. If anything, I've learned more about business and how to approach things. And part of that approach is I'm in control still of everything. Mm-hmm. I just don't have to be so harsh about it unless I have to get my point across. So I originally, what you don't know is, I would lead with anger and everything, and I wanted everybody to be afraid of me. And that would like calm down, because what happened was when I put myself in a position of power, people came ready to learn. Mm-hmm. Now I know for a fact they're showing up to, hey, can you teach me this? I took away all questions and concerns because in this case, just to be clear, nowadays social media matters and the numbers don't lie. So you go, yeah, we better probably just pay attention to what Buddy's saying. Where I'd have to go in and prove this idea at the time that like, no, I'm right. Well, we do it. I'm like, no, I'm right. Well, hey, would you just go to the office and let me do what I do, and then you get back to your right? Okay, well, I trust I trust Callahan, I trust McCall, I trust Jesse, such. But I was right, and so now it's like, listen to him, he's right, and it's because we scale fast, but I'm also obsessive too. So for one, definitely appreciate your perspective, Jack. I can't wait to. It's like this. I can't wait to keep seeing you grow in the future, and you be a part of the world that I'm building and creating, because you've seen it. I won't say start to finish, but from start to beginning.
Yeah, pretty close to the start.
Yeah, I know. It didn't make sense the first year. So you came when it was peaking, where I like cracked the code on like, oh, this is how you train. This is the safest way to do it, and everybody got better.
Yeah,
everybody was safe. Everybody played and competed and was healthy. I mean, Gabe called me one time from Holy Cross and goes, Trev, the trainer took off through the field. A 300-pound dude rode up on the back of my leg after getting hit. He's running back. He said, and he's like, I just knew you tore your knee. He goes, how didn't you tear your knee? He said, probably all them damn step-ups. He's like, seriously, I've probably done 10,000 step-ups, no exaggeration. He said, there's no way. 9 out of 10 people would have tore ACL, MCL, complete everything, right? Especially with that type of pile-up. D-Lo said the same thing. D-Lo was like, Trev, I was at Illinois, and the coach said, he said, nah, bitch, I need to do some step-ups. and that right there was still, to this day, it's like, those kids, young men now believed in everything that we were doing, but it actually was applicable, and they felt better. And even Daden's back one time locked up at the Peach Jam. He said, boss, man, my fucking back, I shot a shot, and my fucking back gave out, and I was like, what are you going to do? He said, I need to get to the gym and do some deadlifts. He said, I kid you not, I did deadlifts and played the rest of the Peach Jam. I was like, exercise can solve problems.
Yeah.
And if you fucking know, but those young men literally, I kid you not, people, they've done over 100,000 reps of every exercise you probably never thought of. Like the worst case scenario, you're like, what's that? Let me show you. We got 1,000. Yeah, that's just to make sure you get it right.
Yeah, even I haven't had any knee problems. I'm 28 and I've played basketball my whole life.
Literally.
I haven't had any knee issues.
Yeah.
And
But even you thinking preventative wise, before you started the sport, you go, where can I go to make sure that I minimize the risk of injury? Because that shit ain't working.
Yeah, that was my hope before I'd even like heard of you. And I was like, well, it just so happened to come into my life like literally a few months later. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, this right here, Jack's a guy who, again, has given me a second charge. And I'm telling you right now, it's fucking with me. All you guys say that I'm a nice guy now. I'm like, this is interesting.
It's all right, I know.
He's like, no, I know who you
You
are.
were always nice to me. But
I'm like, this is so interesting. Like, I can't believe this is going. Trevor, this is okay. This would never go back. But that is interesting. What happened? What happened? I'm like going through my brain. I'm like, what changed? Oh, I stopped giving a shit. I think, no, seriously, I think at one point I did care about everything and all things specific to people and even how they would treat me even. Yeah. So with that anger, right? So now we won't bring up no names, but like, motherfucker ain't doing it. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to do it myself.
Yeah.
It's like outwork me. And so when it does happen and it may be time to go here or left, you go, did you ever see me not do something that day?
Yeah.
You ever see me not prepare for these moments? Did you ever see me not make a phone call? Did you ever see me not... My whole day's rooted in people, as you said now, even just checking in, checking on me, being a part of the day, being a part of the journey, being a part of the growth, and being supportive, which is also something I never had neither. Yeah. So while I was supporting y'all, you was there, man. I would have a car full of kids, or everybody was just showing up, everybody carpool with people. Like, we would go from school to school to school and work out all day long, man.
Yeah.
Those were the good old days, man.
Bro, I had a lot of fun.
Dude.
That ended up being what I would do after school every time we weren't playing. Like, every time I was out of season.
Yeah.
I think all fall I drove over to wherever you were at if you weren't working my team out.
Yeah, dude, it was, I kid you not, when I go back, hopefully one day, get to just revisit some of the moments in my life, I'm like, damn, dude, that was a time where I got to figure out how to be better. how to work through even my own traumas and dramas per se, because I'm looking at Rock and I'm looking at you. I'm looking at all this spectrum of individuals and watching you guys improve by the second. And then that going to the court and you shaking hands. And I remember Joel Spiller going one time. He says, "Trevor, man, fuck, I hit Gabe. He come up the middle. He was a linebacker. He goes, I hit him." And I'm like, man, we got to fucking deal with this dude. And I'm pissed off. And he gets up and taps me and says, "Man, hey, good hit." I said, "Yeah, that's all I want to hear you, Coach Will. I told this motherfucker, don't you go out there with that anger shit." It's funny, I'm telling him this.
Yeah.
I said, Gabe, you thank everybody who hit you. And I want you to store that away so that the next time it never happens again.
Yeah.
And very few times it happened. He carried the team, but that's how he got hurt. Neither here nor there. Point is, guys, this is a person who knows me probably better than anybody. And if we stay the course, which nothing's going to change, he'll be one of the people who probably speak at my funeral.
Yeah, I mean, you are 9 years older than me, so
I might outlive you, motherfucker.
you might.
But seriously, he's one that would have, when I say an honest perspective, start to finish and just clear. And again, he I love about Jack, he doesn't take anything personal. And it was never personal to me. I wasn't like digging at nobody. I'm just like, well, where'd you hear that at? You read that?
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, my coach said I should drink protein shakes." I'm like, well, why you look so small?
Well, a lot of dudes who play sports take everything to heart like it's a shot at their ego. And I'm not super egotistical.
And get this to be clear, when I used to come in there, none of the kids could out bench me, none of them could out jump me, none of that stuff. So I'm jumping 52 inches on the box and some change at times, just to be like, well, can you do this? Well, why can't you do this? They'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with this?
Yeah,
Negro?
that would shut people up pretty fast because they were like, well, I like doing it this way. There was one kid at my high school who you had us doing bench, and you said something about his shoulders, and he was like, I thought bench only worked out chest. Like, bro, even I knew, like, your arms are moving the whole time, and you thought your arms aren't getting used once. And he was one of the dudes who was always like, I don't know about this stuff. Like, bro, you don't know about anything. You don't know what muscles bench works. It's self-explanatory.
It's like, dude, have you read a strength and anatomy book ever? Have you looked at it? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you look up and you're like, well, here, how much can you do? And they put it on there.
95 pounds.
I said, well, let's just see real quick. I said, pick a number. Because I knew they were going to say nothing like crazy. It was like anything on 400 and under. I'm like, oh, you're cooked.
Yeah.
and I'd be talking to him with it on my chest, like, so this is what you think it's supposed to do? Now they more mad, realistically. Yeah. Fuck this motherfucker. Guys, it's been a blast to say the least, and just getting back into the podcast space, and even more importantly, having my guy here. We've been able to get up 4 or 5. I think we've probably still got 2 good ones left. Probably won't knock them out tonight, but I wanted to get in and get this one recorded. We'll use Opus Clip to cut some of these things down, but he's a person who you want to follow. You want to be you want to be aware of his existence. And if you follow anything that I do, I'm going to make these things big. And he's going to be a person who's going to help me make big decisions one day. And some other choices as we continue to build other great things. So stay tuned, people. Stay motivated. And if nobody tells you, man, be encouraged in whatever you're doing. And good luck.